anything I need to do here?
Is it Monday night? Here we are again. We're really happy to have you with us, and another week went by, and we look forward to Monday night with you all. So thank you for joining us. We will start at 7. I was looking over the set list and noticed that we're trying to focus on some Minnesota flavored songs. And so those take up a lot of the set list tonight, but I also noticed that there might be 5 or 6 songs that you haven't heard in the previous shows. And we had some requests from last week, and so we will be doing those. So we thank you for the requests, and thank you for being with us. And always want to thank the essential workers. It's a very different time for all of us, and we want to thank the workers.
We thought we start get the feed going 5 minutes early. We're still working on the technical difficulties of having a scheduled event. We tried that. I tried it for several hours today with our notebook computer, and the sound was not syncing correctly. And we have a new microphone we're going to be using with that. But all is well. We get a new camera coming in. We'll get it all working. And if not, this works. But we have this problem with this. There's 2 things we don't like about this, and one of them is the autofocus problem. We've had a number of people comment on how this kind of does this autofocusing. As you can see, I just did it there when I moved my head around. And so we're sorry about that, and we hope to have that remedied by next week. We have a brand new webcam coming in. They're really hard to find right now because as soon as this shutdown happened, everybody ordered webcams. So most of them are sold, but I found a distributor in New York that had them. And it'll be here Thursday. I'll have a chance, a couple days to get used to working on it.
And we're talking nice and closely to the microphone. We've gotten some comments about not being able to hear our voices while we're talking. So we'll try to get close to the mic when we're talking to you.
Yeah, we got it kind of fixed last week too, didn't we? I'm good. I got the loud voice.
And the reason I didn't have Gus in my hands tonight, he's just sleeping right now, and we've been going on a lot of nice walks in our neighborhood. Any of you that are visiting possibly this summer or next year, we live below Hawk Ridge in Duluth, Minnesota, and we'd love to have you come for a visit. We can bring you to some new routes that we've discovered during this time.
Let's see what we got here. It's almost 7 o'clock, and let's say hi to some of the people that are online already. We already have 20 some people watching, so that's
wonderful.
Well, let's start at the very top. And in Rhode Island, Pete and Linda Rawlings.
Well, hello.
Great to see you. Or get to know that you're seeing us.
I actually can see you. I can picture your smile. I can see it.
Nancy
Both
Cameron Dunn.
Smiles.
Janice Hansen, one of my high school classmates. I think my phone's ringing. I don't know why I did that. Oh, it did ring. Somebody tried to video chat me.
Oh.
Don't do that right now. We're on the air. I'm going to just try to mute my phone somehow here. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to... Here, I'm going to give you this.
Okay.
And you can say hi to everybody.
All right. All right. Hi, Mark. Hi, Janice. John. Jim. I don't know how to move this up, Bill. Okay, here we go. And David. Kathleen. Okay, are you working on that? Okay.
Yep. I thought you needed some tech support.
Well, I'm excited for the set list. I put the first song on. Bill doesn't actually know what we're doing tonight, but he'll figure it out. The first song Bill wrote, I'm not sure how many years ago, and it's called "Where Does the Ice Go?" And it's a little ditty about about living here in Duluth and the ice that forms on Lake Superior.
Interestingly, it's the only thing I wrote during the 25 years or 22 years where I wasn't writing. Well, it was actually about, I suppose it was really about 20 years that I wasn't writing. So I started writing again in late 2000 or 1995, but I wasn't writing music. I was writing stories and fairy tales and poems, and then started playing out again. My first show was in 20 years ago, in the year 2000, in February. And but back in the early '80s, mid '80s, I came up with this idea because we live right by Lake Superior. We're a mile from the lake, and I was born and raised here, and it has its own weather system. It's amazing. And today it was a chilly. I went out for a walk with the dogs. Kate was out walking with a friend, and 6 feet apart. And so I took the dogs for about a 4-mile walk. And that first mile walking right into the wind, it was bitter cold, and I didn't bring gloves. And it was in the mid to upper 40s and about a 20-mile-an-hour wind. And but it does that. And Lake Superior has frozen over a number of times. I think about 4 times in modern history. 2 of those times were 2 years in a row. Back in the early 70s. And and we had ice until the middle of July, or no, excuse me, the middle of June, coming into Duluth, and there was a day where it was really one of those beautiful, beautiful hot spring days in mid-June. And the wind came off the lake and dropped the temperature about 50 degrees below what it was over the hill. Not 50 degrees, below. 50 degrees lower than it was than over the hill. Oh, but see, Duluth is on a big hill. It's about 600 feet from the lake front up to the top of the hill. And then it's pretty level and rolling hills and forests above that. So we get these heat waves that come up in the Dakotas, and they come across here, and but then the lakes hold on to the cold from the winter. Interestingly, in the fall, it's actually a warmer bed of lake many times because of the same thing. We get the cold air that comes in, but the lake's still fairly warm, relatively. So anyway, I came up with this idea, wrote this poem, and then when I came back to music, put it into a song. Everybody's talking. You told me, oh, that's the wrong song. It's kind of like that. Oh yeah, I know. I haven't done this one in a long time. There you go. Where does the ice go? Please tell me the truth. The spring winds blow warm down the hills of Duluth. The winds here of late have been just above freezing. Sometimes it sure seems that old spring was just teasing. Where does the ice go? Where does that ice go? Where does the ice go? Please tell it to me. Is it somewhere out there across the face of Kitchigumi? Was sent far from us, does it soon find another? Some Canadian friend, eh? Or Michigan brother? Where does the ice go? Where does that ice go? Where does the ice go? Ponder I on this dune. One year it was homesick, came back in June. Remember that year? I'll wager you do. 95 at the airport downtown, 42. Where does the ice go? Where does that ice go? Now for a kazoo solo without a kazoo.
I like that better, actually. I like that better.
Like it better without the kazoo? Yeah. Where does the ice go? How's it go? Where does the ice go? Why, there once was a time that it never came back after March.
That doesn't rhyme.
The warmth of that summer won't soon be forgotten, since we've had so many inversely as rotten. Where does the ice go? Where does that ice go? Well, as far as the ice went, we cared not that year. As soon as it left us, we pulled out our gear, and we hiked it up to Chester and cruised down the bay, and we kissed in the moonlight. Remember that day? Where does the ice go? Where does that ice go? Where does the ice go? Oh, I know the truth. When the spring winds blow warm down the hills of Duluth, and the seagulls watch the tourists, watch the boats haul their ore, and the moon watches lovers entwined on the shore. Where does the ice go? Where does that ice go? Where does the ice go? Where does that ice go? There you have it.
Great song.
Where does the ice go? So, well, it was about 6 years ago or 7 years ago that Lake Superior froze over again. And it was frozen over solid, and it was so solid and so safe that they were able to open up a ice road or ice path over in Wisconsin over to the sea caves that are on the south shore of Lake Superior. And thousands of people paid $5 to walk out a mile along the ice along the lake and walk into these sea caves that are normally only accessible by kayaks. And I didn't go, we didn't go, but I guess it was just spectacular. If you just Google sea caves Lake Superior ice or something, you'll probably find some amazing videos and photography from in there because they're like stalactites and stuff.
It's stalagmite. No, it's just stalactites.
They just be stalactites.
Yeah, not mine.
They
Anyway,
didn't have time to make any stalagmites.
no. This next song is called Old Fences, and actually I don't think we have done this song yet at one of our shows online here. Actually, also just thinking about how we miss seeing you in person. I was just remembering our 3 months in Florida at Oscar Shearer State Park and being real connected to everyone. So we do know you're there, and we're really happy to have you with us. But I was just kind of envisioning that, so I'll keep that going tonight.
While I introduce the song, why don't you look at the feed?
Okay.
And it'll take about 15 seconds for it to get to this point, but I just wanted to double check that the sound is working. I got the microphone turned on.
We have to turn the sound on this down because I can hear it just a little louder.
I thought I just turned it down.
Just a little, I could hear it.
Okay. It is, oh, it's on 0.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So we want people to just give us a little feedback on that. So Old Fences was inspired by a couple things. One was an old picket fence down our street here. It's no longer there, but it got the idea for the song anyway. So if you'll scroll down.
I
wanted to find out about the sound.
I went to the bottom, Bill. There's
Okay.
the bottom. This is
That's the bottom?
previously, yeah.
Okay, so they probably haven't gotten here yet. Because we're at 15 seconds. You're 15 seconds behind us, so I don't know what that means right now.
I want to say hi to each of you.
You can
and
do that.
we're really happy to have you with us, so thank you for being with us. All right, so let's do Old Fences.
Yep. Up in this is our homegrown show. The Homegrown Music Festival was this past week and was going to be this past week, and we were going to perform Saturday night. And so we decided tonight we'd have a focus on our more locally songs, and the homegrownly ones. And so this song was inspired by local places, and one of the things in it says "Iron Gate to let us through," and that's a kind of a reference back to my childhood when we lived in Hunters Park. For those of you who live in Duluth know what I'm talking about. And Hunters Park, by our neighborhood, there was an old mansion site about a half a block from our house, and it had a winding paved road that went up over a stone bridge and then back up into the old mansion site, which was just a driveway and a courtyard. There was no building left. And so that was kind of our playground and our sliding hill and things like that in our neighborhood because it was quite hilly. And that the gate, there was a stone, actually brick gate with an iron fence on it, and that's my reference. And that area is often called Woodland as well, which is Woodland Avenue. And that's why it says an iron gate to let us through, or old stone walls built along a woodland road. And
I'm glad you reminded me.
you forgot that.
I've forgotten some lyrics through these shows, but I think it's actually because I'm nervous.
Are you nervous?
Even though you're not with us, I'm like,
Nervous?
A little bit.
You could be the new nervous elder.
Yeah, all right.
That's an inside joke. One of my daughters signed up for a birthday club at one of the restaurants, and apparently the person was typing her name in, and they had her one hand off by one key, and her name came out as Nervous Elder. All right, here goes. Do we get a feedback on the sound?
No.
What you looking to see?
Okay. I'll look while we're singing that.
I'd like to know, because if there's a problem, I don't want to start the song.
Nothing. Sounding fine.
All right, then we're home free. I like old fences where they've fallen into disrepair. A few slats missing and the wood is weathered bare.
Old fences bring to me a sense of time of history, stretched between the posts of faded memories.
And nothing lasts forever. It'll all fall down like wood and stone and metal, returning to the ground. Oh, nothing lasts forever, except the finest kind, like the joy I feel when you're on my mind. like those old stone walls built along a woodland road. Cracks of moss growing up and down each side.
I like those stone walls too, an iron gate to let us through, down a path into a world outside of you.
Nothing lasts forever, it'll all fall down like wood and stone and metal, returning to the ground. No, nothing lasts forever, except the finest kind, like the joy I feel when you're on my mind. Walls and fences all about, they keep it in, they keep it out. They let you know how life has been. Sometimes they're best for straddling.
Built by kids and cattle kings with twisted wire and secret things. Safety lies behind the line. What's yours is yours and mine is mine.
Nothing lasts forever, it'll all fall down like wood and stone and metal, returning to the ground. No, nothing lasts forever, except the finest kind, like the joy I feel when you're on my mind. There's a joy I feel when you're on my mind. Thank you. Thunderous applause.
Well, I was picturing being at in the courtyard of Fitger's, where the Boat Club restaurant sponsors us in the summer. We play out there, and I was actually picturing some people and having their dinner, and I know the menu there and how wonderful their food is, and so I was actually just
You were thinking about
picturing them just.
You know what I was thinking about
eating.
the whole time?
What?
The lyrics and the music. Looks like we're going to do a song with two guitars. Which we're doing.
There's the set list right there, Bill.
Oh yeah, right there. Down my street.
So, as I mentioned, we're doing some Minnesota-based songs because this week in Duluth, during this week, in the beginning of May, we have a festival called Homegrown. And how long has it been happening? How many years?
I'm sure they'll believe you more than they did believe me.
I don't know what you're
I
getting.
told them about it already.
Oh.
The festival?
When?
Homegrown
Tonight?
Festival. Yeah.
You mentioned it.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
We should
It was
get into depth
it was
about it.
last week, but I don't know how deep you can get.
So anyway, we're doing a lot of Minnesota-based songs. This one,
You are more credible.
you have heard this one
Incredible.
quite a few times, and it's a little trip down our street right out here in Duluth, and right below Hawk Ridge. We'll dedicate this to our friend Lou in Florida. I don't think he's watching, but he always requests this, and I love that.
Oh, Lou from Florida, but from Massachusetts in
Right.
the summer? Yeah.
So. All right.
Lou Rabinovitz. 1, 2, 3, 4.
As I'm walking down my street, I can hardly believe this life. This life are here for me right now. Hawks caroling in the sky, getting ready to fly down south. Before the first snow flies. Is this real or is this just a good dream? Walking down my street, I can hardly believe that this life and love are here for me. Walking down my street, sun shines on the wet white snow. The ice is getting thin on the edges of the sidewalk as it crunches under my boots.
just a good dream, walking down my street. I can hardly believe that this life and love are here for me, walking down my street.
Now I hear them sing as I look down to our lake. I see the old boats all lined up and the postcard cards breaking. Yes.
Is this real or is this just a good dream, walking down my street? I can hardly believe that this life and love are here for me, walking down my street.
Thinking of you, my friend, you're gone, but you're here with me.
Walking down my street, walking down my street, walking down my street.
All right. We're going to do Shores of My Hometown next.
Yep.
If you want to talk about that, I'll look at some notes here.
All right. So we are going here. Hey, didn't I mention yet that this last week was going to be the Duluth Homegrown Music Festival? I can be a pest sometimes. All right.
Guitar just a tad heavy, but sounds good and clear.
What
Guitar.
guitars too loud?
Just a tad heavy.
Okay, which one?
Well, guitars.
Okay, so what we'll do is we heard the guitars might be a little bit too loud, so we'll just raise the microphone up just a bit so it's closer to our mouths. We can handle that.
Gene Hewitt, Claire Gibbons, Mark Rubin, Tina Jackson.
All right, we'll see if this helps. If it doesn't, just tell us after this song. So, when I came back to writing, I used to walk down to Lake Superior and sit on the shore of the lake and just think and write. And I wrote a poem called The Rock, which I happened to be sitting on. And that became this song, and also the part of that poem also became the song Wilderness Lady. Is that on our list?
No, it's not.
It's not. We did that last week, though.
Okay.
So here's the shores of my hometown. This is when the rock is at his best. This is when the rock slips off in the morning sun, and he's earned this day of rest under the feet of everyone. This is when the children come to play. This is where the lovers laid their blankets down, and the poet wagged his tail. Here on the shores of my hometown, and I wonder what the rock would say if river mouths could hold their tongue. Could he share an edgewise word from the day when he was young? Would he fill the lecture hall
Would he tear the trophies down? Or would he whisper soft and clear from the shores of my hometown? See that woman out there on the edge? See that man who's squinting in the water's glare? Is he looking for a sign? And does she know he's standing there? Look at how the winter's etched his face. See here how the Furies wore his shoulders down. Time and water take their toll here on the shores of my hometown. And I wonder what the rock would say if her mouths could hold their tongues. Share an edgewise word from the day when he was young. Would he fill the lecture hall? Would he tear the trophies down? Or would he whisper soft and clear from the shores of my hometown? From the shores of my hometown.
Right, that's one of my favorite Bill Isles songs. I love that song.
Thank you. That really brought me back that time for
Good.
some reason, sitting on the rock.
So the next song, if you're checking out the list there, is a song that you wrote when you
Oh, yeah.
lived on the range?
No,
No,
way
no.
back.
Or before?
Way back.
Way back.
This is a song I wrote
Oh, yeah.
the week after my 21st birthday, and I've been driving that weekend up to International Falls and back. It was Sunday night. I had about 4 hours left to go on the drive back home, and it was dark, and it was in November. I fell asleep at the wheel in my Volkswagen Beetle. My wife at the time was sleeping in the front seat, and the baby, who was only 2 weeks old and might be watching tonight, and she's okay.
Speaking of babies, we love you too, Martha. That's the youngest.
That's my youngest daughter,
This was the
Martha.
oldest that was on there.
So I'm going to move this. I think I recorded it in G, but I'm going to do it in A just
Okay.
because. Just because I want. I guess I get to.
Okay.
I get to change the key. It's called Wake Up. Just think about the metaphor of falling asleep at the wheel. We were driving late one night on Highway 53 with baby in the backseat. Sally slept, her head on me. The radio was playing some unfamiliar song, just the kind of tune where I would have no chance to sing wrong. My mind was drifting across the line to a dreamy place. I tried so hard to shake it off, I even slapped my face. But hypnotized by the center lines, I soon was conscious free. Till I woke up driving down that median of 53. Wake up, pull over, walk around your car, get a clear idea of where you are.
before you go too far. Wake up, pull over, rest a little while. You never know what you might have to face down that road a mile. I pull back on the shoulder in one piece and still alive. My car was going 50 and my heart 155. The good Lord must have guided me, 'cause I missed that bridge and tree. How often do I sleep right through the things He does for me? Wake up, pull over, walk around your car, get a clear idea of where you are before you go too far. Wake up, pull over, rest a little while. You never know what you might have to face down that road a mile. You never know what you might have to face down that road a mile. Wake up.
I'd like to say hello to my dad and Barbara. It's great that you're with us. Thank you. Great to see you. At least we can spend time together this way. And I've read a lot of. You can grab that if you'd like to see what's going on with our friends. I'm doing the next song solo.
Oh, yeah, you are.
So that's right there. If you'd
I
like
got
to
one right here.
Okay. Are you going to stay sitting there? Or?
I'm multitasking.
Okay. So, this next song I'm actually dedicating to Phil and Diana. You will see this tomorrow, and as you know, we're working on the focusing problem. But this is a song I wrote for my very good friend Gabrielle. Gabrielle lost her mother years ago, and I went to the funeral, or the celebration of life. And when I walked in on the picture board, I was just taken by this black and white photo of Gabe, my friend, just tucked in her mom's coat, probably in November or December, in winter in southern Minnesota. And her mom just had her tucked in her coat, and her mom was smiling, of course, and so was Gabrielle. And that picture just really touched me, and I wrote to Gabe and I said, send me some more stories and some more information about the life that you shared with your mom. And she sent me a long, detailed email. I loved everything about it. And so I wrote this song for her called Song for Gabrielle. So I think the sound will be okay just like this with the guitar. Okay, so, yeah. All right. Gabrielle's just a babe. Mama tucked her in her coat. Buttons fastened round them both. With a smile she peeked out from the top of her mama's coat. A memory set in black and white. The edges yellowed over time. Now it's placed inside a box. This memory will outlive this day. Gabe dressed in black. They had a big house in the country, 2 goats, some pigs and chickens, rabbits and a pony, dogs and cats, and Gabe's own horse, a dapple gray Arabian she named Marafa. China come. And on that Christmas Eve, Gabe stayed by her mama's side. Her mama heard all of her fears and dreams. Standing by her mama's grave, the snow falls gently on her face. A tiny bird that she once saved, I see her tucked inside that coat, that little smile upon her face. That was dedicated to Phil because he requested for shows, which I really appreciate. So there we go.
When Kate and I met, I was just playing locally, and even maybe going down to Minneapolis for some open mics, that kind of thing. But I'd only been playing out for less than 2 years, and so the first few years, she started singing with me a little bit by little because she had a full-time job, and one time I was on a tour out west, and I played Good Friday show at a coffee house in Gallup, New Mexico, and decided to drive afterwards. I got done around 10 and drove about 4 hours, I think it was, over to Tucumcari and got a hotel there. And when I woke up in the morning, I looked out the window. There had been a big windstorm the night before, and it had blown the number 1 off of a sign at the hotel next door. And the sign now said 0% satisfaction guaranteed. 0%
Yeah,
satisfaction
that's a lot.
guaranteed. Yeah. So I thought, well, it's a pretty low bar. We'll have to establish that in my own life. So I was going to cut up from Tucumcari up 54 up to Wichita, which is a nice shortcut. And but there was a squall coming in from Colorado, so I thought, well, that's kind of risky. You hear that scratching sound? That's that dog trying to get out through the floor. And so I went over I-40 over toward Oklahoma City, and when I got there, I was able to take an exit onto I-35, which goes from there. Well, it starts in Texas, but from there, once I got on I-35, it was all the way I-35 to within 3 miles of our house. I-35 ends just 3 miles from where we live. And when I got onto I-35, I said to myself, I'm heading north. And I thought, oh, heading north, that's kind of, I might put that into a song. And the north, at the time I was reading a book by George MacDonald, one of my favorite writers. And it was called At the Back of the North Wind, and I've read that several times. And so I started thinking about the more mystical or mythological value of north. And so that rolls into it. It happened to be an election year too, and I was really sick of everything I was hearing on the radio. And so that rolls into the song too. So it's really about getting past the border of everything and into the land of peace and happiness. On a misty Minnesota morning, I'm heading south on 35. Like a pioneer, I'm seeking out those places where the seed will stay alive. I could send you pictures of the far-off places and the small towns where I've been. Until this trip is through, I just think of you, and I'm heading north again. Heading north where our burdens are carried away in the wind. Heading north to a border where the better story begins. Heading north to the road where the pavement comes to an end. Heading north again. Heading north again. From the east and west, I've seen the worst and best this great land has to give. And in spite of some adversity, there's no place I'd rather live.
but I get a little weary of the putting, snaring across the battle lines within. So for a change of view, I just think of you when I'm heading north again. Heading north where our burdens are carried away in the wind. Heading north to a border where the better story began. Heading north to the road where the pavement comes to an end. Heading north again. Heading north again. Most of all, I'm wishing that you were here to see everything I'm seeing. But you're not, and I know that's our lot, at least for the time being. And I know that day is gonna come our way, you'll be jumping in. But until you do, I just think of you when I'm heading north again. Heading north where our burdens are carried away in the wind. Heading north to a border where the better story began. Heading north to the road where the pavement comes to an end. Heading north again. Heading north again. Heading north again. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Do a couple of hey, heys.
Hey, hey,
Hey,
hey.
Heading north again. You going my way?
Hey. All right.
There we go.
Well, Bob Cody, this next song is for you. You requested a song. We didn't write this next one, but we love singing it. You don't know me.
Written by Cindy Walker and Billy Ed Wheeler, but not really. Billy Ed. Did I say Billy Ed Wheeler? No, that's a different
That's a
song.
different song. Yeah.
That's a different song.
So-
It was Eddie Arnold.
And okay, right.
Yeah, yeah. But Eddie Arnold, the kind of Tennessee plowboy, he gave her the idea for this song, and she didn't like it. She didn't want to write it. And then when she was by herself, she got the idea and then wrote it. And so she gave him co-write credit for a birthday gift, even though she wouldn't have had to do that. If you walk up to me and say, "Hey, you should write a song," blah blah blah, and I go write the song, you're not a co-writer. If you sit down with me while we're doing it, yeah, you are.
That can be difficult, though.
Yeah, it's very difficult. I'm a demanding taskmaster. And so he was the first person to record it. It's been number one a number of times, and we turned it into a duet. It's like she says, called "You Don't Know Me."
Right.
You give your hand to me, then you say hello. I can hardly speak, my heart is beating slow.
As anyone can tell, you think you know me well, but you don't know me.
No, you don't know the one who dreams of you at night, longs to kiss your lips and longs to hold you tight.
To you, I'm just a friend, that's all I've ever been, but you don't know me. For I never knew the art of making love.
My heart aches with love for you. Afraid and shy, I let my chance go by. The chance you might have loved me too. You gave your hand to me, then you said goodbye. I watched you walk away beside that lucky guy.
To never, never know the one who loves you so. No, you don't know me. For I never knew the art of making love.
My heart aches with love for you. Afraid and shy, I let my chance go by. The chance you might have loved me too.
Right on key. Good job.
my chance go by, the chance you might have loved me too. You give your hand to me, and then you say hello. I watch you.
I can hardly speak.
I can hardly speak, I guess not. My heart is beating so, as anyone can tell. You think you know me well, but you don't know me.
Now, you were a trumpet player,
I was a trumpet player, yes.
so you can do that. And I just realized I've never tried doing that.
Haven't you?
No. I can't do it.
You're a flute player, though. Sort of like this.
No, flute was like
My
this.
band director, Paul Peterson, told me not to date flute players. He said they kiss like that.
I just realized I cannot do that, though. Okay. All right. Michael Carlson, we're assuming you are with us. I haven't noticed yet, but I think you are. And Grace.
How's the sound now? Is that better now? With the microphone up just a little bit?
Oh,
We should
right.
find out. Yeah, I moved the microphone up, what?
Oh, okay.
2 or 3 inches.
I only see people. I don't have any. Oh, Michael Carlson's right there, heading north. He loved it. Okay. Yeah, I don't see anything about it, so we'll just
Okay,
keep going.
so we're gonna keep going unless somebody calls me and complains, but I have my phone muted, I think.
So, Michael, thank you for this request.
Oops.
Beautiful Skies. This is a song I wrote called Beautiful Skies.
Wow.
You all set?
Yep. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4.
These crazy days, they're as apart. These hurtful words only break my heart. I push you away, should make you pay. Then I see the hurt in your face. There's so much fighting, wars are raging, and my soul naive to unfoldings. I'll take you with me to the skies. It's fight or flight. I'd rather fly.
Beautiful skies, bright blue and clear. Beautiful skies, rise above the fear. Beautiful skies, go wings and fly. Beautiful skies.
Now I'm resting, building a home. I don't mind being here all alone. Don't need no red light, don't want no city lights. Safe and warm, don't fear the storm. Those hurtful days,
Those hurtful days,
long gone.
long gone. I see them down below, specks on the ground.
Far away ships,
Far away streets,
can't make them out.
I can't make love. We're up here now, let's sing and shout. Beautiful skies, bright blue and clear. Beautiful skies, rise above the fear. Beautiful skies, grow wings and fly. Beautiful skies, beautiful skies.
Thank you, Michael Carlson. I hope you like that. I appreciate
Are
that.
you guys dancing in Seattle? Claire Gibbons is watching from Seattle.
Right,
too.
I noticed that. Hi, Claire. We just ran into your parents about a week ago up near Seven Bridges Road. That was great. The next song we have on every set list, I'll let you introduce it and I'll just check
For
notes.
those of you that are new to us and new to Duluth, yes, we actually have a 7 Bridges Road here. and it's built back in the WPA days. They're beautiful stone arch bridges. And I know if Phil and Paula are watching, you can attest to that. They live in Georgia. They're friends of ours from the Oscar Scherer State Park. And they came up to visit us last summer, and we took them up to Seven Bridges Road. You can't drive there now because the city has wisely closed Seven Bridges Road and made it into a pedestrian and bicycle area instead. So it's about a 3-mile section, I think, where you can go up Seven Bridges Road and then cut across Skyline Drive across the top of the town. And that, which is just a dirt road up there. And it's usually closed in the winter, but that part of it is. But they kept that closed now through this thing. And I just walked up there today with the dogs. I was looking for it. There's a path that goes right by our house, up the hill, all the way up to the road up on top. And I've never taken it. I knew it was there, but I couldn't see where it was. So I found a path from the top today. I thought, I'm just going to go down this path. It was great. It was actually really nice. Came right, it was about 4 blocks from our house. So nice to get off the streets, even though there's not that many cars on the streets. But the ones that are there are driving really fast. So what am I doing now?
Hobos.
Hobos in the Roundhouse. All right. So a lot of you know this song. This is our most requested song, and it's a true story about my grandfather. And for those of you that want to learn it, I've been thinking about doing a video of how to play this song. It's not hard to play, but I thought about, now that I have some getting better and better video equipment, and we're doing more and more with video, I could actually do a little lesson on how to play this song. So just make a comment in there if you want to encourage me to do that. And because I think I may even have the gear to have one camera on the fretboard and the other one on a little tiny window in the corner for me talking. From 7 to 7 every night of the week, fixing trains in the roundhouse, I work on my feet. And I told my children, I hope the bed bugs don't bite. And I got hobos sleeping in the roundhouse tonight. From Akron and Hinckley and Prairie du Chien, they are soldiers and lawyers, I believe what they're saying. And I'll rouse them at 4 and they'll head down the line. My hobo's sleeping in the roundhouse tonight. Good night, my hobos, rest your vagabond heads on your old knapsack pillows, in your gunny sack beds. For a few stolen hours, you'll be alright. My hobo's sleeping in the roundhouse tonight. Well, they hired a new man to work as a guard. Every morning at sunrise, he checks out the yard. But for now I won't trust him, though he seems pretty nice. 'Cause I got hobos sleeping in the roundhouse tonight. Good night, my hobos, rest your vagabond heads on your old knapsack pillows, in your gunny sack beds. For a few stolen hours, you'll be alright. My hobo's sleeping in the roundhouse tonight.
I asked my Savior, what should I do? If I'm caught helping hobos, the job could be through. And I heard the answer so clear and so bright. Are my hobos sleeping in your roundhouse tonight? Good night, my hobos, rest your vagabond heads on your old knapsack pillows, in your gunny sack beds. For a few stolen hours, you'll be alright. My hobo's sleeping in the roundhouse tonight. For a few stolen hours, you'll be alright. My hobo's sleeping in the roundhouse tonight. Good night, boys. Hi.
All right. Well, we have a song request from Linda Heiss, and we're going to do Cool Water. This is on. Oops, I'll let you do that.
Still beneath the stars and moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
let's
they're
just
not
go
quite
right
like that.
into
I might poke you. That's one of the two songs I currently play harmonica on, but I didn't even take my harmonica out today. And that's okay,
Yeah.
because everybody knows
Okay.
that I suck at it half the time.
Half the time, yeah. All right, let's go for it.
So this is written by Bob Nolan when he was 16 years old as a poem in English class at Tucson High School, probably getting close to be 100 years ago. And he put the music and helped found the group, the Sons of the Pioneers. Each day I face the barren waste without the taste of water. Cool water. Old Dan and I, with throats burned dry and souls that cry for water. Cool, clear water. The nights are cool and I'm a fool. Each star's a pool of water. Cool water. And with the dawn I wake and yawn and carry on to water. Cool, clear water. Keep moving, Dan, don't you listen to him, Dan. He's the devil, not a man. And he spreads the burning sand with water. Dan was his burrow. Dan, can't you see that big green tree where the water's running free and it's waiting there for you and me? Water, cool, clear water. The shadows sway and seem to say, tonight we pray for water. Cool water. And way up there he'll hear our prayer and show us where there's water. Cool, clear water. That's good. Keep moving, Dan, don't you listen to him, Dan. He's the devil, not a man. He spreads the burning sand with water. Dan, can you see that big green tree where the water's running free and it's waiting there for you and me? Water, cool, clear water. Cool, clear water.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Nolan's Cool Water.
That was for you, Linda? Heights?
In,
Okay, so,
are you in Colorado Springs now? I think you are. No, you're still in Miamisburg, Ohio. One of our many house concert hosts that we appreciate so much.
Yes, we do.
Now we're our own house concert hosts. I was thinking, everybody, you know, this may look really difficult, but
Why would you think this
so I was
is
just saying, don't try this at home. You should try it at home.
Yeah, you should.
You can't try it anywhere else.
This would be a really good time to learn a new instrument. Just grab a mandolin, something, and go on YouTube and take lessons. That's what I've been meaning to do. It's on my to-do list for the bass, the guitar.
I love those cowboy songs. I wrote one time. We haven't ever recorded it.
What is it?
Bad Dream Fix.
Oh, that's a great song.
If your wife is one of them women that have been blessed with long, straight teeth, and you, after watching the late show, fall asleep, inadvertently dream you're kissing a horse, I wouldn't recommend waking her up and telling her. You're probably in enough trouble as it is from watching that cowboy movie. I want you to grab that dream remote control and rewind it back to that moment just before the kiss. 'Cause I'm fixing up your dream so it'll go like this. You're standing on a South Dakota hilltop with the prairie wind just blowing through your hair. Your better half comes galloping up the hillside, and she stops halfway when she sees you standing there. There are times when nothing is exactly the right thing to say. I put the chorus in the wrong place. Anyway, we'll get that for you sometime.
I love that song. I think it's really
Yeah, cowboy
great.
hat. And I had one cowboy hat, which I bought to perform that song in the year 2000. When I did my first show, I had that. One of the segments was to do that song wearing a cowboy hat, and it was one of those nice black felt hats. And our puppy Gus, who you just heard scratching on the couch there, he chewed it up, took a big old hunk out of it. Looked like a bullet hole. I should wear it and just say to people,
Yeah.
"Yeah, you should see the other guy."
Yeah. So we have we're doing November Bloom, fitting into our Minnesota North theme today, and I'll have you introduce this again while I just check.
Yeah,
out the things.
back in over 10 years ago, our good friend Pamela Middlefelt, who might be watching tonight. Hey, Pamela and Bill, and they live about probably 5 miles from here, 5 or 10 miles from here, and she wrote and asked me if I'd be part of a project with the Lace Prairie Writers Group, where we would take 30 anonymous poems and find one that we felt connected to. Anyway, I picked one called a piece of prose called November Bloom, which I learned later was written by Terry Falsani, and turned it into this song, November Bloom. It's this is one of our top requested songs. It'll never bloom, I tell myself, but I pick it anyway. A slopping cold delphinium on a bleak November day. All around the dried up remnants of the brighter days of June. You taught me one must brave the cold to see November bloom. It'll never bloom, I tell myself as I carry it along. And as if some tune could help it through, I sing a blooming song. In the house I cut the stem and drop it in your crystal vase. I remember when Dad gave it to you, how the love lit up his face. Did he take your hand and draw you to the dance floor, singing softly in your ear as you crossed the room? Did he smile his smile that for 15 years had warned you? Did he whisper soon, November bloom?
never bloom. I tell myself, but the morning proves me wrong. I wake to find that 7 buds had opened in the sun. How long this polluted light will keep its flowers, I don't know. But I'm thankful for each one of them as I look out on the snow. Did he take your hand and draw you to the dance floor, singing softly in your ear as you cross the room? Did he smile his smile that for 50 years had warmed you? Did he whisper soon, November bloom? I grabbed the phone to call you as I settle in your chair. You tell me Dad came calling for your birthday party there. You said you danced and laughed and walked out in the blue light of the moon. I'm thankful that you found it too, your own November bloom. Does he take your hand and draw you to the dance floor, singing softly in your ear as you cross the room? Does he smile his smile that for 50 years had warmed you? Does he whisper soon, November bloom? Does he whisper soon, November bloom?
All right, you've got cabin next. I'm gonna just tune my guitar for the last song.
All right. So this next song is called "At the Cabin." It's a song that I wrote at the cabin, and which is also our recording studio now. But when I was building it, it was just a bunch of lumber in a pile, and it was a cool time for me because I had, you know, as many of you know, I've had some heart issues, and but it's been going really, really great, and I haven't had any issues now for over 8 years, the longest I've gone without any kind of problem. And I've got 7 stents, and but every time I had something happen, I sensed it, and I had the wherewithal, the inspiration, I guess, be more like it, to get into the hospital and tell them I got something wrong with me. And sometimes they didn't believe me because, you know, I looked okay, I guess, and even the tests would come back normal. I said, no, this is a problem, and it was, but I was building the cabin. It was a lot of physical work, and I was working really hard. And I was at the Mayo Clinic for a follow-up, and the doctor shook his head when I was on the treadmill, and he said, "This is very unusual." He said, "Men your age don't reverse heart disease. How did you do it?" And I said, "I have love, and I have music, and I work really hard, and I have joy, and joy is an important thing." So. So I was building the cabin. I had a guitar out there once it became more weather tight, and I started playing my guitar. Came up with this guitar part. As a mediocre guitar player, one of the hardest parts about writing songs is to come up with a guitar part that's different than the other stuff you've written. I do a lot of roll picking. That's where the thumb is doing the bass line. I do some back picking with my fingers. I don't use any finger picks. I use a flat pick sometimes. I want to emphasize that low end a little bit. And so that's the guitar part I started writing, and this song came out of it. In the coolness of the morning, when the geese are on the lake, we take a cup of coffee, step outside to start the day. I
watch the bald eagles soaring high above the trees. It's almost like they're putting on a show for you and me. In summer we go swimming, in the winter strap our snowshoes on. Spring the leaves are budding, by late October and nearly gone. But the fire's always crackling and the air is sweet and clean. The flora and the fauna, the cedar and the sauna, you know what I mean. Blue heron does a slow strut in the grass across the bay. He's waiting for some tender little fish to pass his way. Got one eye on the water and the other on the nest. Of all the places in this world, I love this one best. When I head out to the cabin and the city's far behind, I leave that county highway for a different state of mind. But I open up the car door and I step out on the land, pretty much as close as I can get to who I am. In the coolness of the morning, when the geese are on the lake, all right, so we're going to do a,
That's a quick question.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right.
We're going to do a Gillian Welch song, and we're huge fans of her and Dave Rawlings, and this is her song Orphan Girl. Oh, that's it like this. Yeah, right. That's right. I was doing too fast. Ready?
Can we do this like this? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. That's
All
fine.
right.
Make yourself comfortable. I'll adapt.
All right.
Whoops, hang on. Oh, to mention this, we're going to do 2 more songs, right?
Mhm.
So if you want to donate and support our music, there's some donation information at the top of the feed, and that'll be, of course, this video will still be available after we're all done here. And also, we're going to be posting all these videos that we've done so far onto YouTube, and I just learned how to do that today, so we'll be copying them over there. Starting next week, we'll probably be broadcasting live on YouTube as well as on Facebook. That's a public service announcement.
Yeah. We thank you very much for donating.
People have been so
very
generous
nice of
with
you.
us.
Yeah. And we just do this anyway, but we do put some of our donations toward Second Harvest, Northern Lakes Food Bank in Duluth here. They're doing a fabulous job. They keep hitting their goals, a lot of volunteers. So we don't do an actual certain mathematical equation to do that, but we just give to them. So that's our place. So anyway, thank you. I am an orphan on God's earth. I share my troubles. If you go my way, I have no mother, no father, no sister, no brother. I am an orphan girl. I have had friendships, pure and golden, but the ties of kinship I have not known it. I know no mother, no father, no sister, no brother.
I am an orphan girl.
Be my mother,
My father, my sister, my brother. I am an orphan girl. Thanks for listening, everybody. We're going to do wrap this up with, what song are we doing last? Friend of mine.
we love to share this last song with you. It's Steve Martin and Edie Brickell. Edie Brickell wrote the lyrics called Friend of Mine on their album called Love Has Come For You, a beautiful album. And we love to share it with you because you are friends of ours and you have your friends. And so think of your best friend as we share this with you. We have turned it into a duet. It is on my CD. My CD is called From Home. We had the pictures taken here in our house by Jeff Isles, our nephew.
Yeah.
So
I was going to comment too, because we were thinking, what has happened for us in the last week? Well, one of the things that happened is that, it's coming together in the last week, is that a group of 24 local musicians decided to do a composite video where people start with a bass track and then they add their own vocals and instruments to it. And our song Floodwaters was selected as the song for the local production. And we're very, very honored. We love that song. We had a lot of requests for it. And so that's going to be out in a few weeks, and we'll definitely be advertising that that's available for people to watch. And we were so excited to see it and hear it.
And Timothy Sodengroves, who's putting it together, is really enjoying the process. So we are thrilled that he's loving the process and doing it and making it happen. So thank you, Timothy Sodengroves.
Yes, absolutely. Timothy was the first person ever to record me. When I came back to doing music, I went over to his house and recorded. I guess you call it a demo. It was 9 songs. I printed them myself and put them on the...
And what was that
It
called?
was called Photo Mosaic.
Right.
And it only had 9 songs on it.
Wasn't your face kind of
Including
big?
one by...
Didn't your face have boxes on it?
Yeah, it was a Photo Mosaic.
Yeah.
With pictures from my life making a
Right,
Photo
right.
Mosaic. It was just a cheap computer program. And there was, I sang all the songs but one, Mary Beauty one, on there as
Yeah.
well, a song that she put one of my poems to music,
Light and Shadows.
from Light and Shadow.
Yeah. All right, so think of your best friend as we share this with you. And if you're spending a lot of time alone during this quarantine, we're thinking of you. So think of just us sharing this with you and giving you our friendship as we're all together during this, even though it's virtually right now.
And we're going to continue to do this. We may put in, put together a daytime show here, because we've had some requests from our friends in England to do a live show. And so we'd have to do it earlier in the day. That may be on a weekend or something. We'll figure that out. But after I get the new camera and all the microphone issues figured out. And but I was going to mention too is that we're going to continue to do this because it's not looking real good for live music performances. We just had one of our biggest July shows canceled now, and so we'll see how it pans out.
Mm-hmm.
Those are things that get canceled and they don't get rescheduled for a year, and because of our summer concert series, and so those messages are coming in kind of on a regular basis, and we're just so thankful for the support our friends have given us, that we've been overwhelmed by it really, and thank you for being here. And
Yes.
Is there anything you need from us? Just let us know.
Yeah, keep in contact. We go through all the notes after and take notes for the next week.
I'm going to give a shout out to Virtual Duluth too, which is Matt Dressel runs that, and they've been featuring different local performances. Either they're from, is it called Zumba?
I'm not sure.
I think they do
Yeah.
yoga, and they do morning music shows and evening music shows and readings from the library, and they're kind of the clearinghouse for all that. And now they started doing a fundraiser along with it, and last week they had the Native American Housing ICHO, I don't know how to pronounce it, but I've been there, and so that's one of the things we supported through Virtual Duluth.
Right.
Now the next one coming up is going to be the Damiano Center,
Okay.
which is a wonderful, has a food, has a
Pantry
like a soup
and-
kitchen
yeah.
and pantry and everything, and clothing. And so
We have a lot of great musicians. If you haven't checked many of them out in our town of Duluth, it's very fun. We just walked into a Zen Eye Care the other day and bumped into our friend Sonia
From Feeding Leroy.
from Feeding Leroy. So it's just so much fun. We feel that we're all very connected, and a lot of people are very sad that we don't have homegrown happening, and there's actually tears happening for many of us. So, so they did say next year for homegrown it will be just fabulous. So we'll get there.
Yeah.
We will get there. So this is a Friend of Mine by Edie Brickell and Steve Martin. You've been a friend of mine for such a long, long time. Made me laugh and see me cry. Call me to say hi.
The world is such a crazy place, full of joy and pain. What would I do without you? Here to keep me sane.
I've seen revolving doors. I've been a stepping stone. I don't know what I did wrong. Why they left alone.
When everybody lets me down, you lift me up again. What would I do without you? My old faithful friend. You've been a friend of mine for such a long, long time. Made me laugh and see me cry. Call me to say hi. What would I do without you?
Thank you, friends. You mean the world to us.
Oops.
Oopsie, there goes the guitar. Should we get a puppy up here for you?
Sure, let's show some puppies.
Come here, Violet. Come here, silly. I'll get Violet because we usually get Gus.
Gus doesn't want to get picked up. Are you getting Violet?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right. So this one wanted to be picked up tonight. The other one we're kind of having some issues with Gus because he gets in a mood at nighttime in the nighttime.
I'd show them to you, but I got a
This is
big mess of
Violet.
paperwork over
She's
there.
usually not one to be picked up during the show, but here she is tonight. So thank you for being with us. We'll look at all our notes and we'll get back to you and have a new set list for next week. Thank you, everyone.
I like the camera close like this. Who needs to see the guitars?
Bye-bye. All right.
There's our front. There's our street. Hey, there's your street.
Okay.
All right. Stop the video. How do I do that? Right here.